Hello, Wanderers. Welcome to a brand new Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series in what is perhaps our most ambitious roleplay series that we have ever done on this channel. And that is because a few weeks ago, I made a call to all YouTube channel members and Patreon supporters to join me in a Viking invasion of Iberia. And that call was answered. And what followed was perhaps one of the most epic scenario setups that we have done on this channel thus far. There were battles, there were raids, there was betrayal, there was alliances, a king was killed, and a kingdom fell. And as you can see in this 867 start date, the kingdom of Asturias is no more, and in its place are these Viking realms. And we're gonna get into the lore and the alternate history that we have set up here. But I do just want to say, this is not going to be a one-off. This scenario that we have set up here is going to truly be a mega series. And what I mean by that is that from now until the release of All Under Heaven, every base game series that we play in Crusader Kings 3 is going to take place from this scenario. From this start date, whether we're playing here in Iberia or a character in the Slavic lands or in the Middle East or in India, all of it is going to start from this same save file and continue on until we can't continue on anymore. And I plan on getting more input from the channel members in these scenarios because it went off without a hitch. It was awesome. It was a ton of fun. I think that everybody who played in it had a blast, and their characters are going to be a huge part of this series. So if you guys want to get in and have a part in the next scenario after this series is done, make sure to join as a channel member yourself. There's a button down below. You can join on Patreon, look in the description. But it was truly epic. I am not kidding. It was a lot of fun. You can ask the people who played in it. But what is this scenario? What have we set up? Well, let's get into it. So as you can see here, we are playing as King Haraldur Fairhair, but this isn't going to be the character of the series. No, this was just the leader of the Viking invasion, one of the main leaders. Haraldur Fairhair, who was the historical figure who would go on to found the Kingdom of Normandy. Well, he led this Viking invasion into Iberia within this timeline. And so that is what we are seeing as our first kind of major divergence from history. But what led to this Viking invasion? Well, what really spurred this on was the failure of the sons of Ragnar Lothbrok, Ivar the Boneless, and Halfdan, and all the rest of them there in the Isles failed to take Northumbria. They failed to take Mercia. They even failed to take East Anglia somehow. And with their failure in the Isles, which we had no part in, that led the rest of the Vikings to seek lands further afield, and they sought lands to the west here in Iberia. So who are the Viking lords who led this invasion? Well, number one was Haraldur Fairhair, as we have mentioned, an ambitious and brave warrior, as you can see, veteran adventurer. He's a Viking. He's an aggressive leader, very quick man. He lost his leg in that war, though. And well, how did he make his name? Other than the one who kind of prompted the other Viking leaders to lead this invasion, he actually led the sacking of the city of Lyon. And as you can see here, if we look at the development, Lyon is at 0 development. This once great fortress of Lyon was completely and utterly destroyed by the Vikings. So that's kind of how he earned his name. Who were the other Viking leaders, though? Well, let's take a look at Jarl Ulfric Ravenblood. Now, Jarl Ulfric was actually the first Viking to score a success against the Asturians, for he landed here in what was formerly known as Oviedo, but now known as Ravenhold. This was the capital of the Asturians, and he captured it and quickly and swiftly took down the resistance of the Asturians. And so he was the first to gain a foothold here in Iberia. This man is a very zealous man. He's ambitious, obviously, as most of these Viking lords are. But he's a strong follower of the Norse gods, and he's probably going to be spreading that religion here in Hreifenjall, which means the Ravens Mountain. And yeah, very cool character here. First to score a success against the Asturians. Now, after that, the king of Asturia, Alfonso, fled. And actually, if we take a look at him, well, we'll take a look at him shortly because I don't want to give too much away. But the king fled. He fled to Lyon. Lyon was sacked, so he had nowhere to go there. So where did he go next? Well, he sought to call in aid from Francia and from Navarra, but no aid could come because of Jarl Raduger the Wolf Slayer. Now, this is a man who you don't want to be enemies with because he is gallows bait. He's a murderer. This is a man. He's a torturer, a wise man. This guy is a very eccentric fellow, as one could imagine. Obviously ambitious. Like I said, all of them are ambitious. But he cut off any aid coming to the Asturians by capturing the city and the lands of Vizcaya here and preventing any aid from Navarra or West Francia from coming in. So what did the king of Asturias do after that? Well, he fled to the city of Portucale. And what happened when he went there? Well, he met the army of Jarl Olafur Kingkiller. And well, as you can imagine, how did Jarl Olafur Kingkiller get his name? He got his name by killing a king. And here is Alfonso III, known as the Brave, the king of Asturias. He fought a battle with Olafur, he was captured, and he was executed. And that was essentially putting an end to any major resistance by the Asturians. His son and heir went missing, and nobody really knows what happened to him. But the king was slain, and the kingdom was already crumbling. What was the final nail in the coffin? Well, it was Jarl Hrolfr the Walker. And you may recognize the name here, Normandia, or Normandy as it would be known in true history. And this is indeed the historical figure of Rollo, who would go on to found the dynasty of William of Normandy, who would go on to conquer England, obviously. But in this scenario, he has conquered Galicia, and that was the end of any resistance, any true resistance by the Asturians here in Iberia. And so with that, the kingdoms fell, and that is where we find ourselves. We're starting this scenario 5 years later, and the Norse kings here and lords and jarls are not comfortable in their seats, but they are in the process of turning this into a true Viking settlement, much in the way that in history, places like Jorvik and Mercia and East Anglia became within the historical context. But like I said, we're not going to be playing as King Harold or Fairhair because that would be far too simple and far too straightforward. Who are we going to be playing as? Well, we're going to be playing as a different character who we're going to switch to right now. And that character is Ivar Twistfoot. Now, this is a very cool and interesting character, I think, because he isn't a Viking warlord. He's not one of these characters like Haraldur or Raduger, Ulfric, Rollo, or Olafur. He's not a warlord. He is a skald. He is a poet. He is a wanderer and he is a traveler. And he has come from his homeland in Scandinavia to tell the tales of these great Viking warlords and leaders. he's not the hero of his own tale. He's the teller of tales. And I think that this is going to be a really interesting departure from what we would normally do in these various playthroughs when we're typically playing as a conqueror, as a war leader. Not to say that Ivar might not change. Who knows what his character arc's going to be? But this is a character who's come here to tell tales, to write sagas, and to write poems of these great leaders, and also to learn about the various peoples of these lands, the Galicians, the Castilians, the Andalusians. He wants to learn, he wants to meet these people, he wants to drink with them, he wants to love their women, and he will certainly do so. But well, how did he get his name, the Twistfoot? Well, we can see that quite obviously here by taking a look at our character and his club foot here. Yeah, that foot is certainly twisted as one could imagine. So he's not a warrior, as you can quite clearly see, but let's take a look at his traits. He's gregarious, so obviously an easy one to get along with, and he enjoys spending time with others. He is fickle, so he goes by his whims, and he's never settled into one true thing. And he's trusting as well. He doesn't like to think ill of people. He likes to see the best in them, and he often does, and he that helps him get onto people's good sides. He's obviously a charismatic man. He's a poet, as you can clearly see, and he is a bastard. But not only is he a bastard, but he's a bastard of House Ingling, which is the dynasty of Haraldur here. So we are actually, in fact, the son of one of the king's older cousins here, Count Olafur, who is a berserker Viking warrior here, who has gotten some kills himself here. He killed Baron Gwell, a Castilian man. So our father was obviously involved in that Viking invasion, as was our brother Rogenvalder here, who is another berserker, an aspiring blade master who lost an eye during the invasion. You can see he actually slew a man too, Rewallan Mab Rewallan de Poer, who is the brother of the king of Brittany. So obviously Brittany tried to send in some warriors to assist the Asturians with that invasion, but it ended up with the king's brother being slain by our own brother here. So yeah, we are a bastard of this royal dynasty, but you know, a bastard is a bastard. We are also a relatively good-looking man despite our physical deformity, and the fact that we are illegitimate as well as club-footed means that we've had to learn to be shrewd, because you won't survive if you aren't clever under these circumstances. So that's our character. You can see we've got great diplomacy. Everything else is not that great. Our martial is poor, our stewardship is poor, our intrigue is poor, our learning is average, and our prowess is average as well. And it's not because we're going to be winning very many duels, but we can at least defend ourselves if we've got a weapon in hand. But we are no mighty warrior, not by any means. So we are obviously playing as a landless character. Will we stay landless? Hard to say, but we're certainly going to be going down that route, because I have selected the wandering lifestyle, which is something that we haven't really played with before. And I'm really excited to finally go down this. I've been waiting to explore this lifestyle specifically because I had this character in mind for a little while. And so I've wanted to play as a wandering type character, and so that's exactly what we're gonna do. Probably gonna go down the Wayfarer tree first, but the Voyager one is also certainly an option. Um, yeah, I mean it could go either way. Actually, I mean there's certainly options with both. So that's gonna be our kind of our thing for now, is we're going to be wandering around these various Viking realms, and then we're probably going to go further afield to Al-Andalus and Soria, Navarra, and the various lands here to learn of the people, like I said, to maybe seduce some of their women, and we're just gonna enjoy ourselves here, despite the fact that the kingdoms and the realm is in chaos here. Al-Andalus is fighting 2 wars. They've got a war against Rollo, who's invading the Duchy of Coimbra. They're also facing a massive rebellion here in Al-Andalus. And not only that, but there is also, I believe, some disease going around. The famine fever, which is typhus. Typhus is going around as well and has already laid waste to several people. So we're a landless character, which means that we've got followers. And who are our followers? Well, let's sort them out here by age. So we're going to go like this, and we'll take a look at the oldest character in our camp, and that is Vemender Wolfblood. And now, ugly as sin Vemender is, but this man is a brutal warrior, or he was at least before he lost his leg. Famous champion. He is a berserker, brave, stubborn, but compassionate as well. He's a good man, and that's why we call him our friend. But as you can see, he has a few big important named kills under his name. He killed Ragnar. He killed Alfir. So these are obviously Norse people. So Vemender has obviously won his fame back in Scandinavia, and then he came here with the Yngling family, and despite the fact that he can't really fight necessarily the way he used to, he still is a very useful man, and he still has a lot of knowledge, and don't underestimate him in a fight despite his one-leggedness. But yeah, like I said, he's an ugly bastard. We can't deny that. So that's Vemender. Who next? Well, we have Adolfo here. Now, Adolfo is a very interesting character. He's a Castilian man, flagellant. He's a warrior monk, as you can see, monk and aspiring blade master here. Temperate, zealous, and chaste. Now, he has joined up with us because of some very interesting reasons of his own, in the sense that he sees the Viking invasion of Iberia as God's way of punishing the sinfulness of the people of this land. And so he's actually come along in order to not really to protect his people, but to essentially promote the punishment of the Vikings upon them, because he sees us essentially as an instrument of God's vengeance, I suppose you could say. How he ended up in the camp of wandering SKALD, that's hard to say, but perhaps he wishes to go around and seek out the unworthy, and this seems like an easy way for him to do it. He wants traveling companions, perhaps. He is loyal, though, so we can probably trust him. That much is at least for sure. Who do we have next? Well, we've got our best friend, Tollir Ivarson Ivaring. Yeah, this is a son of the famous Ivar the Boneless, and he is our best friend, just a year younger than us. He is a generous man, he's a trusting man, and he is content as well. So obviously somebody that we could easily get along with. He's not really a warrior either. He's more interested in money than anything else, but barely even that. And despite the fact that he's not much of a warrior, his physical strength makes him more capable than most in those terms. So, yeah, he's our best friend. And despite the fact that his family is still up here in the Isles, he has joined us down here in the Castilian lands in order to, well, just adventure and have fun and enjoy things as young Norsemen might. And so, yeah, we're going to get up to some shenanigans with Tollir. Of that, I have absolutely no doubt. Then up next, we've got the siblings, Juliana Vimeranis and Enoch Vimeranis. These two siblings here are the children of the former Duke of Portucale, Lucidio Vimeranes, who was executed by Olafur Kingkiller, indeed the man who took their lands, and their father was executed, and now they're basically just trying to survive. And so Ivar must have met them in his travels. He took a liking to both of them. You know, the young Enoch here, who's a little bit more of a vengeful sort, is still easygoing and, you know, well enough to get along with. And he's only a couple years younger than us, but he does harbor a little bit of a darker tendencies. I'm kind of getting a little bit of emo vibes from him, but he's a poet as well, and perhaps that is how we get along with him. And then also his sister, who is rather beautiful, as you can see. One could imagine that a guy like Ivar here might be interested in, you know, inviting these two to come along with them, and we might attempt to seduce Juliana here at some point, but I'm not going to launch that right away. But Juliana, unlike her brother, is compassionate and content and humble. She has learned the ways of a herbalist and a physician, and though she is quite delicate, like I said, she is very, very beautiful. And so the two siblings here are within our camp, and you know, Enoch wants to get revenge, and Juliana just wants to survive, and we'll see how both of those things go. And then the last character in our camp is none other than a young man whom we call Horseling. And although we do not know his true origin, for he speaks not of it, as you can see here, this young child, 10 years old, is none other than the son and rightful heir of King Alfonso III. Now, as I mentioned, when Jarl Ulfric captured Oviedo, which was the capital of Asturias at that time, the son of the king was captured as well, but he went missing, and nobody really knows what happened to him. And somehow he ended up in the camps of the Vikings, and I think that he was getting himself into a little bit of trouble trying to steal, and Ivar saw it. He managed to step in, he managed to smooth things over, and he took the kid under his wing. And that's why we're going to actually set him up as our ward here. We're not going to convert his culture, but we will convert his faith, because I think we're going to tell this kid about all the Norse gods, and we're going to tell him these sagas, we're going to tell him these tales. And this is going to lead to what I think is going to be pretty interesting. Of course, I have been playing the Game of Thrones series as well while I've been setting this up. And I think this is really cool because this character is a lot like Egg from the Dunk and Egg novels. And I have a feeling that his story is going to be super interesting as well. And we're going to see how that plays out. So he's a brave kid. I mean, you got to be brave to survive under these circumstances. Charming as well. So you can see why he gets along with Ivar here. And then he's also got athletic, which is how he earned the name Horseling, because, you know, he's got legs like a horse and he can run like one too. So, but like I said, we don't know his origin. We don't know that he's the heir. None of this is known to us. He does have a sister. His sister is currently in the court of the king of Pamplona, or the king of Navarra here, betrothed to the king's nephew, I believe. And so, yeah, that's our camp. That's our court. A lot of interesting characters, a lot of potential intrigue. And yeah, where do we go from here? Well, the question is, where do we go first? And I think first, we find ourselves in the lands of our father, Count Olafur, but we should go to Burgos. Burgos is where King Haraldur is building his new Viking capital. Now, historically speaking, Burgos would become an important city in the Castilian lands. But during this time period, it wasn't really much of anything. And so this is where Haraldur is building his new kingdom of Castali here. And so we're going to go to his new capital, which is, you know, being flooded by, you know, Viking warriors and refugees and craftsmen and tradesmen and all of these things. And that's where we're going to go first. So Yeah, let's head over here to Burgos and let's see what's up there. So yeah, let's get time rolling. We'll keep an eye on Rollo's invasion here, but we'll have to see how that all plays out. So we've visited the kingdom, the capital of the kingdom of Castali. We've gained 150 martial lifestyle experience, and we have a contract here, a 3-star contract to fight corruption. Whoa, that's a lot of money. Castali suffers from rampant bandits, usurious officials, and panicky peasants. Anyone willing to keep all of them in line will be rewarded. Oh man, we could get a lot of money from this. But is this something that we would really do? Carriers of cudgels fight corruption. That's a lot of money, but I don't really know if that's there's a lot of fight corruption contracts here. I don't know if these are really things that we would necessarily do. Yeah, like I said, I don't think so, but we're not just gonna leave right now. I do want to get some more like diplomacy contracts. I've set our camp to be a explorers camp, so we should get more diplomacy and intrigue contracts. So I'm hoping we'll get some diplomacy ones, but we don't seem to see any right now. But maybe we can go into the city itself and find some here. So let's go to our camp. Actually, let's go to our into the city itself, visit the castle holding, and let's see what's up. We're going in with Vemender Wolfblood here. First, let's go to the tavern. Let's mingle with the locals. The tavern, gathering travelers and local Castilians alike, is brimming with activity. There's a storyteller seated a bit further in. Up front, a gathering of shabby chums pester the server for more spiced wine, and at a corner of the counter, an enchanting vixen sits, seemingly bored. Oh, we're going straight for the vixen. Vemender looks around at the jumble of individuals with an intrigue glint in his eye. Oh, who is that? Walk up to the vixen by the counter. Heck yeah. Who do we got here? Gita. She's not that beautiful, but she's a little bit of an older woman compared to Ivar here. She's only 32, but back in these times, that would be considered a cougar pretty much. I am intently observing the vixen sitting down by herself at a nearby table. The owner called her Gita, didn't he? As I approach, she looks puzzled as I approach her, possibly because my internal turmoil is clear as day on my face. Why would this bother me? I am Ivar, the wandering SKALD, damn it. I keep reminding myself of my recent accomplishments in order to remain calm. Yeah, our recent conquests, more like. Oh man, okay, we're gonna flirt with this woman. Do you have a name, or can I call you mine? Why don't we take this somewhere comfortable? Oh, okay, we're gonna, you know what? You gotta use a line. We're not gonna pay, but we are definitely gonna try ourselves a little bit of a line here. So, do you have a name, or can I call you mine? We failed to entice Gita. Yeah, that wasn't the best of a line. You're gonna need to up your game. Keep in mind that we are only 19 years of age, so, you know, a man by any means, or, you know, by any standard here during these times, but, you know, a 19-year-old, he doesn't have all the game of, you know, a veteran of love. So we leave her company. Let's hear a story or two while we're here. And, oh, who's telling the story? It's Ubada. An interesting fellow, an eager reveler of quite some sort. And then the egg fell, its parts forming the universe. The egg's yolk became the warm sun, and the white became the beautiful moon. That's a story for another time. The storyteller gives me a mysterious smile, leans back in his fireplace seat, and takes another sip of spiced wine. Do we want to get this guy in our camp? That story had a few good points. That was a great story, friend. Oh, we can't get him into our camp. I think we're gonna say that story had a few good points, and it was a nice story. We gained exotic stewardship for 3 months, so +4 stewardship. The details of his story lingering in my head. We walk back. We could see who's up for recruitment. We've got Kamran, an Ashari man. Who is actually fairly well learned. Who else do we have? Martin here, who is a very capable steward, and Aragante, who is a Mos Arabic Castilian woman here. Presumably, we can't afford any of them, though, so unfortunately, we're not going to be bringing them along. Let's head over and see if the town crier has any contracts. Discreet experts required for lucrative opportunities. Skilled collaborators wanted to handle, oh man, criminal contracts. Collaborators? I guess organization, stewardship? I guess we'll see what the stewardship ones are all about. I was really hoping for some diplomatic ones, but let's head out of Burgos here. Oh, what do we got? So, settle boundary dispute, and another escort. Ooh, eager explorer. There we go. That's a good one. All right, so we're gonna head outside of Castalian. First things first, we're gonna head over to Soria here. And I think we're gonna go for this eager explorer. The curious mayor seeks company and protection during his next escapade. Yeah, all right. Let's do that actually. He won't pay us that much, but yeah, 64 is certainly better than nothing. Leaving his laden mule huffing away outside, Mayor Jubair of Osma is ushered into my tent. Greetings. It is said you are a man of the world, perhaps one with gall enough to venture far by the side of an ever-curious explorer like myself. Wayfarers fawn over the Sultanate of Al-Andalus as having a grand and most beauteous capital, perhaps the finest in all the lands thereabout. Please take me to Cordoba. Protect me on the road, and I'll reward you well with coin. Ooh, Cordoba, how grand? Let's go. All right, well, I wasn't expecting to head to Al-Andalus right away, but you can't turn up an opportunity like this. I mean, why not? Let's go and see what the lands of Great Andalus have to offer us. Certainly we will travel there, and all of our camp shall travel as well. There is some danger on the road, but I think that we're probably just gonna face the danger. Maybe, yeah, Arid Explorer's not gonna help us. Pathfinder gear not gonna help us. I don't want to bring any, Cultural Ambassador, though. That we can definitely do. Wilderness Explorer's Kit, yeah, none of that's gonna help us, so we'll do that. Let's customize the route. Is there anything that we would want to see along the way? I mean, could we stop here in Madanat al... Oh, yeah, let's go this way. Oh, that's way more danger. Maybe we do want the Mountaineers thing here. Yeah, a little bit dangerous, but it makes more sense to go this way anyway, since we're going through Soria. What about after that? No, that looks pretty much it. So, all right, let's do this. There's going to be some danger on the way. We've hired a cultural ambassador, Bahir, who is temperate, diligent, ambitious. No, diligent, ambitious, and generous. Oh, he was a brilliant strategist, a hunter, and an administrator. This guy's actually pretty cool. I wonder how. Wonder what his story is. He's a Bedouin as well, so perfect for you know, leading us along these ways. So that is where we are going to be traveling here. Now we're going to encounter some danger, no doubt. Acceptance between the Andalusians and the Norse has increased by 1%. A night attack. It's night when the attackers fall on our perimeter, a motley flash of glinting armor and flashing weapons lit only by distant firelight. If they're wearing any colors, then they're not visible, but their intent is clear enough all the same. Remove us from Sikubia, dead or alive. The camp is not without defenders, though. With a cry of outrage, we prepare to push back this local scourge. Who do we have here leading? Oh, we can't see. Counterattack with me? Oh, boy. All right. Hide from the chaos. Every non-craven... No, into the fray I go. I think we got to counterattack. We gotta hope. I mean, yeah, let's try it. 15% chance. Our people are probably gonna get wounded here, but we'll see. Bloodied and broken. Yeah, we managed to fend them off, but our people are certainly injured along the way here. Yeah, definitely a couple injuries, but we seem to be mostly all right. Juliana gives us her tender care. Thank you, Juliana. There's no two ways about it. Whether from weather, rain, overloading, or simple bad luck, some malady has gotten into the camp's pack animals. They moan, they bray, they walk, but it's all growing slower and more sluggish by the hour. Surely we can treat them. We can redistribute our gear until they recover, carry on, and pray to Ire for mercy. Let's try to treat them. We could gain sickened herd for 10 years. Ooh, that could reduce our speed, but best chance. I feel like we're going to be facing a lot of struggles early on in this series, but that's awesome, honestly. The disease spreads through the herd. Ouch. That's rough. 10 years of that. That's a little. That seems like a little bit much. You'd think we would just change our animals after a little while, but we'll boost up our speed anyways. As we prepare to set off in the morning, I see Veminder stand outside the camp all alone. As I walk over to him, I notice a change in the wind. A surprisingly warm breeze caresses my face for a moment, a noticeable change from the cold weather we had recently. So yeah, we just managed to pass through the mountains. We finally come out of the mountains. What are the names of these mountains, by the way? Does anybody know? I'm not sure of the mountain range that passes through the center part of Spain here. But yeah, it's about time for spring again. Yeah, we obviously are gonna say that. So Beminder gains some opinion, our stress gets lowered. We're gonna enjoy it. Danger, flawed fare. Tolier is in charge of our food supplies, but there seems to be a bit of mold. Nature will provide for us. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, there we go. So I think we were fine. We managed to survive that. We're gonna go and visit the capital of the emir of Madinat al-Muluk here in what would become known as Toledo. And yeah, let's see there. So we visit the city walls of Toledo, originally built by Romans in days of old. These massive walls were significantly expanded under the reign of Wamba, king of the Visigoths. Very cool. All right, let's continue on south. We're caught outside. Just as we are about to set out, it starts pouring rain. Rain as far as the eye can see. I can't help but curse my poor luck, but I had seen the dark clouds come for a while. If we want to make our journey on time, we have to set out, but it is a risky journey with the weather being what it is. A little bit of rain won't hurt anyone, or an opportunity to rest, I'd say. I think we can rest. I think we're taking this at a leisurely pace. Oh gosh, I wasn't expecting this many bad events. The fog seems to set in from almost nowhere. This is Loki's type. One moment the air is humid, then it's thickened to near soup. From above, a few droplets of rain fall, and a nearby stream starts to rapidly swell its banks. Tension strikes the convoy, causing the men and carts alike to trundle to a gradual halt. No one can quite say what the issue is, but something is wrong. Within a minute, the once steady ground beneath has turned to thick mud, and water everywhere begins to swell from below. Flood, flash, flood, goes the cry from someone, leaving my followers on the edge of breaking. Oh man, come on, get your gear, move, pray to the Norns and hope. Oh man. Every follower with less than excellent health gets hypothermia. Oh man, here, come on, hopefully we don't get caught in this flash flood. The weather sows too much chaos. Oh boy. All right, who has less than excellent health? All right, looks like we're mostly okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think good. Oh, well, I guess maybe everybody gets it. I don't know. Oh, look at this. Cordoba just got, oh, it just got captured. Not only that, but the Sultan Al-Mundir ibn Muhammad died from his wounds in a battle. Oh man, disfigured, one-eyed, wounded, and now his son, his imprisoned son, Sultan Saifullah ibn Al-Mundir, is imprisoned by Emir Abad al-Rahman ibn Marwan. Oh boy, so yeah, the rebellion of Prince Al-Qasim the Disgraceful has succeeded. What are they trying to do? This is a war against the tyranny. If they have to surrender, no, if they enforce their... Oh, he would get deposed for his even younger brother here, Prince Jamil ibn al-Mundir. Oh man, we're getting to Cordoba at quite an interesting time here. Yeah, look at that. He was deposed. Prince Seyfullah was deposed, and his sister is still imprisoned as well. Cutting rations, best friend begins Stolier. I couldn't help but notice that we were about halfway through our provisions. Stop fretting. It's gonna be fine. We're right there. All right, and so we have reached Cordoba, and we gain 150 lifestyle experience. We're at critically low provisions. That was quite the dangerous journey there. We visit the Great Mosque of Cordoba. The Great Mosque of Cordoba was erected after the Islamic conquest of the Visigothic kingdom upon the foundation of a Christian church. Actually, let's read the rest of that here. Of this special building. Originally, the site was shared with both Muslims and Christians using it, but the Christian half was eventually purchased and demolished to make room for the Grand Mosque. So we are visiting probably one of the most developed cities in the world, I think, at this point. Cordoba, yeah, 21. The only cities that can maybe, yeah, it's even more so than the only ones that can really match it are what? Constantinople, Rome, and maybe some cities here in India. But yeah, Cordoba or Cordoba is obviously one of the greatest cities of this realm, and we are certainly going to enjoy our time exploring this city and seeing what it has to offer. And there's plenty of other contracts here. Finally, we get ourselves a diplomacy contract. Raise building, we could safeguard the faithful. Yeah, plenty of different options. Escort emissary. We will see what Andalus has to offer for our young SKALD here in the next episode. If you guys have made it to the end of this episode, please do subscribe to the channel. It is a huge boost to the YouTube algorithm. It's a huge boost to my morale. And honestly, if you've made it 40 minutes in and you haven't subscribed yet, this is your opportunity. But until the next one, Wanderers, let me know down below what you think of this story, of you think of this scenario, and what you think Ivar should do next. And I will see you in the next one.